Make sure the pins are not damaged. You might also need to remove other components. Record the positions and connections for them to be reinstalled correctly. Remove all power supplies. Remove the access panel. Use a T15 torque screwdriver to unlock the access panel. Release the locking lever and then lift the access panel to remove it. Remove the chassis air baffle. Disconnect the supercapacitor extension cable and then remove the chassis air baffle. Remove all riser cards from the system board. Disconnect the riser card signal cables and then remove all riser cards. Remove the mezzanine storage controller. Disconnect the cable from the mezzanine storage controller and then remove the controller. Remove the SATA M.2 expander module. Remove the screws that secure the SATA M.2 expander module and then remove the module. Disconnect all cables that might hinder your operation. Remove all fan modules. Remove all DIMMs. Remove all processors and heat sinks. Loosen the captive screws on the heat sink and lift the heat sink from the chassis. Place the protective cover over each processor socket. Remove all fan cages. Remove the system board. Loosen the captive screws on the system board. Hold the handle of the system board and slide the system board toward the server front. Lift the system board from the chassis and then place it into an anti-static bag. Install the system board. Take the system board out of the anti-static bag. Hold the system board by its handle and slowly place the system board in the chassis. Then slide the system board toward the server rear until the connectors, for example USB connectors and Ethernet ports on it, are securely seated. Fasten the two captive screws on the system board. Install all processors and heat sinks. Remove the processor socket cover. Place the processor on the processor socket. Then fasten the 4 captive screws on the heatsink from screw 1 to screw 4. Install all DIMMs. Install all fan cages. Install all fan modules. Install the mezzanine storage controller. Reconnect all disconnected cables and correctly route cables. Install the chassis air baffle. Connect the supercapacitor extension cable. Install all removed riser cards. Connect riser card signal cables. Install the M.2 expander module. Insert the M.2 expander module into the M.2 expander module connector and system board and fasten the screws. Install the access panel. Place the access panel on top of the chassis with the guide pin in the chassis aligned with the pinhole in the panel. Close the locking lever and then use a T15 Torx screwdriver to lock the access panel. Install all power supplies. Replace the front 24. Install the processor. Guidelines. The server supports 1 or 2 processors. For the server to operate correctly, make sure processor 1 is in position. Make sure the processors on the server are the same model. Follow these restrictions and guidelines. Take adequate ESD prevention measures. Before installation, stop all services, power off the server, and then extend the server from the rack. Examine a slot and connector for damages. Make sure the pins are not damaged. You might also need to remove other components. Record the positions and connections for them to be reinstalled correctly. Install the processor onto the retaining bracket. Take the processor, retaining bracket, and the heatsink out of the anti-static bags. Align a small triangle on the processor with the alignment triangle in the retaining bracket. Tilt the processor and snap it into the retaining bracket. Install the retaining bracket onto the heatsink. Remove the protective cover from the heatsink. Align the alignment triangle and retaining bracket with the cut-off corner of the heatsink. Place the bracket on top of the heatsink, with the four corner of the bracket click into the four corner of the heatsink. Remove the access panel. Use a T15 torque screwdriver to unlock the access panel. Release the locking lever and then lift the access panel to remove it. Disconnect the supercapacitor extension cable. Remove the chassis air baffle. Remove the processor socket cover. Install the heatsink onto the server. Align the cut-off corner and pin holes of the heatsink with the alignment triangle and guide pins of the processor socket respectively. Place the heatsink on the processor socket. Set a torque of a T30 torque electric screwdriver to 1.4 Newton meters, and then fasten the four captive screws on the heatsink from screw 1 to screw 4. Install DIMMs. Install the chassis air baffle. Connect the supercapacitor extension cable. Install the access panel. Place the access panel on top of the chassis, with the guide pin in the chassis aligned with the pinhole in the panel. Close the locking lever and then use a T15 torque screwdriver to lock the access panel. After powering on the server, you can log into HDM or access the BIOS to verify the processor properties.
Hello guys, this course will focus on server hardware options, installation, and the replacement guide. When you maintenance the server, you may find the server hardware is damaged. We need to replace this hardware, and the engineer have applied a 3C for hardware spare parts. So what's the next step? How do our engineer implement the hardware replacement? You know clearly the steps. So this course we will share you. After this course, you will be able to master the design, the technical replacement scheme. You can also master the replacement operation and the precautions. Before you do the replacement operation, you must do some preparation. So first is to confirm the route time and location of server hardware spare parts, then communicate with our customer what is the convenient time for our customer to do the replacement. And then to prepare some tools. Prepare ESD equipment is necessary before you do the operation, and then come to the required tools and our operation needed, such as paper knife, screwdriver, temperature, hydrometer, and so on. You just prepare the tools that you needed. For example, the paper knife, this tool is to unwrap the server. Let's come to the key point for our preparation, technical replacement scheme. Before you do the operation, you must tell our customer whether you need to power off the server. Our customer's application is running on the server. When you power off the server, that means our customer need to migrate their service or just to shut down their service. So this is very important for our customer. When we do the replacement of some hot swapped options such as the panel, fan, hard disk, or power supply, there's no need to power the server, but you must confirm that we have the redundancy hardware online. For example, you have two hard disks. They do read one. That is mean if one hard disk could damage, the other one can also support the storage service. So at this time, you can do the hot swapped operation. Otherwise, the server must be shut down when you do the replacement. Before power off the server, you must inform our customer in advance so they can prepare for install the backup all critical data, and they must make sure all services have stopped or have migrated to other servers. So there's very important parts to backup or critical data. As our customer data is very important, you must do the backup or critical data and also our server configuration. When you do the hardware disk replacement, do the data backup and just migrate the services to other servers or just shut down the services. When you do the replacement of network card, you need to pay attention to the impact on the operating system and the applications. It may be concerns the OS or application license. As our network NICs changes, the mark changes. Or you pay attention if your operating system is Linux. If you change the network NICs, maybe the ETH network NICs number changes. You must do this preparation. When you do the replacement of our motherboard, you must record the BIOS configuration, such as startup mode, it is legacy or UEFI. And also you need to record the HDM addresses and its login password so that it can be set to the previous configuration after replacement. For customized BIOS, a USB device is needed. You can prepare a 32 GB USB device. And if it is customized BIOS, you need to come to HQ to download this firmware. You need also prepare the corresponding operation hardware, firmware, and driver. We recommend you to upgrade the hardware firmware to a newest one. So how to upgrade the hardware, firmware, and driver? You can refer to the option hardware release note. You can get this file from A3C website, and this is a link example of NIC. And then you want to know what is the detailed replacement steps, which file or video can I learn? So there is a file that is the corresponding server. And come to the server user guide. You can focus on the operation steps and the precautions. In order to grasp the operation steps more intuitively, we provide you the videos. It will show you step one by one. And you can see this video later in this course, or you can also get the video from S3C official website. And this is also the links I provide for you. Okay, now you have finished the preparation of replacement. It's time to do the operation now. First, check the spare parts. If you encounter performance failure, internal or external inconsistency, or even material damage, you can contact us for confirmation, and if it needs, you can apply additional spare parts. And then just carry out on-site service according to your predetermined scheme. If you meet the technical problem, you can just contact us immediately. If you, after you do the replacement, if the problem remains, for example, the on-site replacement order spare parts are not repaired, or the fault problem cannot be accurately judged, or you may meet new problem after replace spare parts on site. Of course, I hope you will not encounter this problem. Even dead loss or unable to enter the operating system after replacing the motherboard, abnormal network. So at this time, just contact us, and we will try our best to help you as soon as possible. After you have replaced the operation and you have upgraded the firmware and the driver, and you confirm that there's no problem, and then you can clean up the user site and summarize the service contact to the customer. So you finished the operation. Congratulations. So there's the last one, return of spare parts. Put the replaced old spare parts into the spare parts packing box and return them with the spare parts. If our customer purchased the DMR service, that is mean the customer do not need to return the spare parts. For example, the hard disk, they purchased the DMR, and you do the replacement of hard disk. At this time, you must sign the DMR service statement instead of returning the faulty parts. If there's no problem raised by our customer, you have finished this work. If there remains some problem raised by our customer and cannot be saved, you can feedback to us. Okay, now it's time. You can learn the optional hard disk videos one by one. Hope you can do the operation